Tēnā tātou katoa, good evening. A Canterbury woman was left believing she had incurable cancer for 10 weeks before finding out she'd been misdiagnosed.
Angie Hawkins underwent invasive medical procedures, started planning her funeral and even had family return from overseas to say goodbye. But then she was told there'd been a mix-up in the lab. National correspondent Amanda Gillies reports.
Angie Hawkins breathes in the chilled Canterbury air, feeling alive. A few months ago, she didn't think this was possible. She was planning her funeral, believing she was dying of incurable cancer.
I'd been told that I had cancer, then I was told that I didn't have cancer, and it was just hard to work out what to believe, really.
So how did this go so wrong for the Canterbury mum? In August last year, Angie Hawkins developed a rash and then started vomiting. When she became short of breath, an ambulance was called and she was raced to Christchurch Hospital, where she had blood tests and a chest x-ray before a CT scan of her chest and abdomen. 15 hours later in ED, a doctor delivered devastating news.
The ED doctor told the both of us that the CT scan imaging was looking like I had lung cancer.
She immediately thought of her children and then her parents, both of whom have battled cancer.
We were devastated, yeah.
2 days later, she had a bronchial washing and then a bronchoscopy. Another blow was then delivered.
They felt that it was a breast cancer that had metastasised to my lungs and my lymph nodes, and that any treatment I would be offered would be to extend my life and not to cure me.
Her elderly mum took the new diagnosis especially hard.
My mother was very, very upset that it was a breast cancer because she's had breast cancer and she thought that she had given me the breast cancer gene.
While devastated, Angie was determined to face the cancer head-on.
I was just keen to get started to find out what sort of breast cancer it was that I had and get started on the chemo so that, you know, I could live for as long as I was going to live.
Her France-based son moved home. Her daughter cancelled her travel plans so they could be with mum for weeks of body MRIs, brain scans, CT scans, mammograms, needle biopsies and more bronchoscopies. At the same time, she started planning her funeral and gave away jewellery and personal items. But then a new medical curveball was delivered.
2 months down the track, the oncologist said to us that he was really confused about what was going on.
That's because Angie wasn't getting sicker and her test results were varying. Her doctor wanted a pathology review of the original breast cancer cells. That's when Angie got the phone call. She didn't have cancer after all. There'd been a mix-up in the pathology lab. She'd got someone else's results.
It was just the most surreal experience because for the last 10 weeks I had thought that I was dying and I didn't know whether to believe him or not. There was obviously immediate relief from all of us that I wasn't dying, especially for my parents, because nobody wants to bury their child.
She says a review of the pathology department revealed lab tongs were behind the cell mix-up. She was assured the other woman involved did already know she had breast cancer. Regardless, Angie no longer has trust in the health system.
I'm still angry.
The small town rumours haven't helped.
There was talk of me being a fraud and that I never had this cancer diagnosis at all.
She didn't leave home for months, and while the mental and emotional toll of the misdiagnosis has been devastating, she can't get psychological support from the oncology team or other medical departments. Why? Because she doesn't have cancer.
Wow, what a horrendous situation, Amanda. Have you heard from Te Whatu Ora?
We have, Sam, in the last hour. They've just sent us this statement. This is from Canterbury Chief Medical Officer Dr Richard French. He starts by saying, "We are sincerely sorry to Angie for the misdiagnosis." They then apologise for the significant stress that this has caused her and her family. He goes on to confirm that the error did occur on August 14th. He said they had a CT scan and that's which they revealed what they thought was the possible lung cancer. It took until October 25th for them to confirm that there'd been an accidental transfer of another person's cells, which is what gave them the incorrect diagnosis. He said, "We believe this may have happened by the cells being transferred across on the forceps used to handle the tissue." He did say this is very rare. There are laboratory safeguards in place to avoid this occurring, and he said this has been further improved since the event. He then goes on to apologise again to Angie and her family for the distress this has caused. And some people might say, look, she has dodged death effectively by a lotto ticket. This is like a lottery. But she said when you face death like that, the mental and emotional toll and the fallout is huge.
Amanda, thank you.